Welcome back to Judo Highlights, Day 3 of the European Championships. I forgot this massive uranage from yesterday, so I thought I would include it at the start of this video. And I also want to talk about Takayev at under 81s. Check out this Uchimata. It's got to be one of the best Uchimatas I've seen in a while. And I didn't think he was a Uchimata player, I thought he was more into pickups. But he's got a great Uchimata, it wasn't just this one. Here's another, this time against Esposito. And just 8 seconds into the contest. So Takayev, a young, up-and-coming judoka at under 81 is really exciting to watch. Have a look at this newaza as well, a really quick juji. Takes his time putting the hooks in, but once he gets to work, he works very quickly. So bronze medal for him, and I'm excited to see more of him in the future. Now in the finals for under 81s, it was these two guys, Grigolashvili and Arbuzov. They have fought each other before. The last time Grigolashvili won that contest, but there were definitely some dangerous moments, and I thought there was a really close contest. There were a lot of scenes like this where Arbuzov gets very, very close, but Grigolashvili does well to defend. Unfortunately for Grigolashvili this time around, it was Arbuzov's day, and he does get a throw. It's an awkward one. Grigolashvili here, I think he stood up just to avoid the newaza because Arbuzov has a great game. And then this technique here, kosoto on the outside, just enough for a yuko. So it's a bit unfortunate, a bit of a scramble, and Grigolashvili couldn't get it back. Arbuzov just played the game. And in my opinion, I think if someone drops like this, I think we should put 30 seconds back on the clock. Give the other person the time that he lost because they did drop down. Of course, the Shido is going to come at some point, but I think it would be more exciting if your opponent was forced to grip up and not make any mistakes. So Arbuzov, he is European champion for 2025, Grigolashvili, a silver. We had Takayev with the bronze medal, and then the other bronze medal went to Cass. And he does get a nice Gyaku Kesagatame here, or just a reverse Kesagatame. And do go back and just have a look at how he locked up that arm. It's quite interesting how he secured Esposito's arm right there. You can see the belt just used there to pin the arm of Esposito. Now we'll stay with 81 for a little bit because there was some great action, especially from Arbuzov and Grigolashvili. Now this is the contest, Cass versus Arbuzov. And Cass, he actually gets held down here just a little bit, just enough for a yuko. And then he tries to reverse the situation, looks for an armbar, doesn't quite get it because Arbuzov, he's just made of elastic. He's just a really wiry guy, very flexible. You'll see in a second when he gets this really nice piece of osaikomi. Now, not to mention the shoulders, but have a look at the leg dexterity and how low he's able to get his hips to the mat while extending his legs. Insane dexterity in just every part of his body, and this just makes your osaikomi that much harder to get out of. It's not talked about enough, but flexibility in judo is incredibly important, and Arbuzov, he's got plenty of it. Now this was Takayev versus Grigolashvili, and a kosoto from Grigolashvili here just as Takayev went down to the ground. I'm not the biggest fan of these throws, but it definitely stops people from just looking for a sacrifice throw whenever they can. So it is what it is. But Grigolashvili, he did have a beautiful throw here with the seoinage. I don't know what it is exactly, I can't put my finger on it, but Grigolashvili has an amazing seoinage. It doesn't look all that special, but people just go over. Whenever he does it, he's very good at finishing the throw. And just one more from Grigolashvili before we check out the results at under 90. Really nice kosoto here, really sticking to that foot and sweeping it from underneath him. So under 90s now, and this is Ingayat versus Maidov. Beautiful osotogari here. Great grips as well. So Ingayat, he was in the final, and his opponent was Palati. Palati, he doesn't have the most beautiful judo in the world, but I do really like his low spinning ochigari. Now in the final, here you can see gets enough for a yuko, but just goes for the submission. Why not? And then he gets a wonderful hashigarami. You don't see a lot of these days. It's hard to see. Ingayat, he does tap. So really opportune stuff by Palati. He's excited. European champion. Now moving on to the bronze medals, we had Ivanov versus Maidov. You can see Ivanov on top here, looking to pass, really smothering Newaza, and he does get into the tate shiho position. You can see here as both legs come out. Yeah, Maidov, he taps immediately, he just knows there's no getting out of that. And then a bit of respect shown between the two. Now on the other side of the bracket we had Matthew against Fatiev. Maybe I was thinking of Fatiev when I was talking about Takayev at the beginning of this video and all the pickups. Now this was the score. What do you guys think? I think Fatiev, I think he reads the situation, sees what Matthew is going to try, and does throw the leg in there for the Ochigari. So a bit unfortunate for Matthew, but that's the game we play. Bronze for Fatiev. Now before we get into the women's, just something I forgot from Cass. Just a really nice, interesting throw from him. Now for the women's, it was just the one category, under 70s. And we'll talk about the bronze medals first before we go into the gold medal contest. Shevchenko, she threw Geihi not just once, but twice. Yuko score, and then Uchimata, just enough. You can see Geihi looking for the counter, but you can't get that in judo. That's just not how the rules work. Now Andrik, she won the other bronze medal by Shido. So this is the gold medal contest, and we've got Selidu gets a Wazari score, and then later in the contest passes the guard and another Wazari for Osaikomi. Now I think I'll throw a couple of extra ippons at the end of this video if I have time. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the last day. Anyway, that's it from me. Peace.